I was working in that area of the park last summer with a few of the other members of my troupe. So I met the Gopins, who are the heads of the Beech Tree Park Committee, and they were talking about the need for a boardwalk. And I'm like, boardwalk? That sounds like a cool Eagle project. I might want to consider that. This boardwalk in total, when it will be done, will be about 72 feet long. How it works is I have a section down here. You'll notice it's about 4 feet wider than all the other sections because I'm actually going to put benches. I'm actually going to build in benches this Saturday. I put some posts into the ground. This is about 4 feet deep. And right here I have these two pieces of wood lining across it. The boardwalk actually sits on top of them. It's like a goalpost, kind of like this. And the boardwalk actually sits in the middle of it. That's what keeps it up. I had to fundraise for this project, and then once I fundraised, I had to determine how much wood I needed, and that I had to work with my contractor and a few other people to figure out, and then the lumber I bought myself with all the donations of the town. And I want to thank the town, while I'm speaking of donations, for all their generosity, because a lot of the donations came from people in this town, and I want to thank you all.
We've been haying here for many, many years. My father bought this property in 1933, and it was mostly a poultry farm, but we always hayed the back fields. You need hay to feed animals in the winter, whether it's horses or cows or sheep, whatever. And we're still haying it. I fell in love with haying probably when I was a kid in the early 1950s, and I just love the rhythms of haying and the being on the property and feeling like you're part of the land. Don't go too tight in that corner. You can smell the hay now. It's starting to cure, and some of this grass is sweet grass, an old native grass. Most of the grasses are not native, but that's an old native grass. Native Americans were fond of sweet grass, burn it like an incense, and it has that wonderful smell. You can smell it yourself.
Oh yeah, it does.
Doesn't that have a nice sweet smell? After we ted it today and let it just cure, we'll take a hay rake, which is called a side delivery rake, and it rakes it into rows. Put into rows, they call them windrows. Hopefully the wind goes down between them and dries it out even more. We got the baler. This is an old baler, New Holland baler, made in New Holland, Pennsylvania. We've got a pickup here that picks up the hay in the rows, and it's pushed into a plunger. And this plunger, along with a very sharp knife, cuts off the hay and packs that hay in. Keeps packing it in. This was a great invention. As I said yesterday, this ties 2 knots and packs the bale nice and tight. This thing here packs it tight so it goes out very slow and comes out here in a nice little bundle. We've got an old John Deere tractor. That's an old 2-cylinder. John Deere made 2-cylinder tractors until 1960, and that's a 1955 John Deere. Has 2 horizontal cylinders, and you can hear the putt-putt of that tractor anywhere. But it's still functional, still a good tractor. And it's actually a collector's item too. One of the things about working the land is there's only one way to fall in love with a place, and that's to be there 4 seasons of the year. There's a great quote, once you have been on the land and been a partner to its seasons, its secrets, you cannot leave. And that's from Ben Logan in The Land Remembers. And with that, with the prices of land today, an awful lot of people are selling the property, and it's not always for the best. Very often, beautiful pieces of property that could be used for agriculture and produce food for hundreds of more years are gone and gone forever. And people that want to argue that point should stop eating for a few days and then come to the realization that agricultural land is the most important property that we have in this country, and we need to keep what we have.
I happen to really love monkeys, and I think most people find them endearing. Over the summer, I read the children's letters to me. We asked our prior classes to write to the incoming teacher, and when I read their letters, many of them said how much they loved animals. In fact, a lot of them noticed my monkeys in the classroom on step-up day and commented how much they liked monkeys, and I also saw it reflected in their letters. So over the summer, I was thinking about what kind of community service project I would like to do with my class this year. And because children and their love for animals constantly comes up, I wanted to do something that involved animals this year. Again, loving monkeys and realizing that they did too, I actually went to the internet and just Googled community service organizations that had something to do with monkeys. And I came up with 2, but when I hit the Helping Hands, Monkey Helpers for the Disabled, I realized that they were right in Boston. And as I read their website, I noticed that they did educational shows for schools where they would talk about spinal cord injury, because the monkeys provide assistance and companionship to people with spinal cord injuries or other problems with mobility. Through further research, I realized that I had actually seen this organization many years ago on television on a 60-minute episode, and it all kind of came back to me, and I thought this would be a great organization to have visit us. Marie came down and spent a good over an hour with grades 3 through 5, showing us O'Leary, one of the Capuchin monkeys, and some film clips about monkey helpers.
Monkeys live about 30 to 40 years in captivity. In the wild, they live 16 to 24. So he will have a nice long life with us. And like I said, he's already 20 years old. When he was about 10, he came to college, and he was a student, and he learned all the tasks that he needed to do to go and live with a family. And he also has 5 fingers on his hand, and he has 4 fingers and a thumb on his feet. He actually does not have a thumb on his hand. This is not an opposable thumb anyway, but he has thumbs on his feet. So you can see that. It makes him extra adept in being able to open things and manipulate things, and if you can do it, I'm willing to bet he can do it 10 times faster.
Well, I think monkeys in general are the type of animal, I'm sure most people have seen monkeys in a zoo or some other setting, and they are just so wonderful to watch because they are so human-like. And I think that while children have heard of seeing eye dogs, I don't think most of them realize that monkeys also could be trained to offer companionship to humans. And it just once again illustrates how wonderful animals are. I mean, children in the class have dogs or cats and love those pets, but this is just another animal that can give many people companionship. It was just wonderful to learn about it.
I was surprised, though, that a monkey his size could help like a person twice as, like 5 times the size in a wheelchair.
It's kind of cool that they have monkeys helping them out.
Monkeys, usually you think of monkeys climbing trees and eating bananas and stuff, but they kind of do more than that.
And if you put a treat inside the microwave for it, and that's how they train it to open it. You put the treat inside, close it, then they open it, and they go inside the microwave.
If he can open like a microwave, that already makes things a lot easier.
The monkey knows, can clean up after you. If you want to put something in the trash, you have this laser thing. It points to the trash and the object, and the monkey knows to put it in the trash.
So people will be feel like, wow, they have a monkey, so they don't feel so lonely.
Things are tough, but you'll fight through it, and the monkey will help.
But when they live in a home, they learn to do simple things like wearing diapers and what people do and how to open things and how to bring things to people, which is called fetching, similar to your dog. When they reach maturity, he's got it open, he's just taking his time. When they reach maturity, they come into training and they spend 2 to 3 years being trained. He doesn't know why.
We're knitting a giant Afghan to raffle off at sort of a spring groove that we have at our school, and we're gonna raise, and the raffle money that we get for it, we're gonna take the money and we'll give it to the Monkey Helpers organization.